This is Kite Cutter TV with another presentation. We gotta talk about this. Okay, guys, Joe Biden thought he was a dictator and he thought that he could just come into office and do anything that he wants to do. A federal judge in Texas blocks the ban on deportations. So a couple weeks ago, a judge temporarily blocked the deportation freeze that Joe Biden had put in place. After that, a few days after, he got a couple weeks ban. Now, this ban on the 100-day deportation freeze has been indefinitely suspended. A federal judge in Texas indefinitely blocked President Biden's order banning most deportations for 100 days, dealing a blow to the administration's effort to turn back many of former President Donald Trump's tightened immigration policies. Joe Biden said he wasn't going to deport people that have DUIs. He wasn't going to deport criminals that crossing the border illegally. He wasn't going to deport them for so many reasons, it just didn't make any sense. And I'm glad that Ken Paxton and this judge in Texas has stepped up to indefinitely block this deportation freeze. We got that and a few more illegal immigration topics to get into. Check this out.
Our coverage here. We're going to talk a little bit more about really the hold now on deportations that the Biden administration wanted to do, but a judge said, up, not so fast there. I got the update right here for you on News Now from Fox, everybody. So this is the latest here that we are receiving as the Biden administration's effort to impose a 100-day pause on deportations of illegal immigrants were dealt another blow just yesterday when a district judge extended a ban on the imposition in response to a lawsuit from Texas. U.S. District Judge Drew Tipton indefinitely banned enforcement of the January 20th memorandum that would have implemented a 100-day pause on most deportations. Tipton had previously issued a 2-week restraining order on the policy after Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton had argued that it violated federal law and has an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security that Texas be consulted before such a move. Biden had campaigned on the 100-day pause as part of a sweeping immigration agenda that includes a halt on border wall construction, an end to the migrant protection protocols, and a pathway to citizenship for millions of illegal aliens. The broad pause would have had exceptions. It would exclude those who had the sweeping talks about. It would also exclude, according to a written finding by the head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, have engaged in terrorism or espionage or who pose a danger to national security. It would also exclude those who were not present in the U.S. before November 1st, 2020, those who agreed to waive the right to remain, and those whom the ICE director individually determined need to be removed by law. But Texas argued the directive violates the Constitution and federal law, as well as contractual agreement between Texas and DHS signed in the final days of the Trump administration that the state would be consulted before reducing immigration enforcement or pausing deportations. The agreement means that DHS must give Texas 180 days notice of any proposed change on any matter that would reduce enforcement or increase the number of removable or inadmissible aliens in the U.S. Paxton claims that agreement has been violated. Our state defends the largest section of the southern border in the nation. Failure to properly enforce the law will directly and immediately endanger our citizens and law enforcement personnel, Paxton said in a statement last month announcing the lawsuit. The administration has since issued guidance to ICE agents informing them that they will need pre-approval from managers to arrest some illegal immigrants if they do not fall into the category similar to those that were also exempted from the deportation freeze. So if they don't fall in line with those orders, before an ICE agent is going to make an arrest, they have to call up their supervisor and say, hey, can we arrest this person? Then they got to get the clearance to do that. And then who knows, by that time, will the illegal immigrants still be there? Will they be able to take them into custody? You just don't know. But that is the latest update there. As this guidance is temporary, only lasting 3 months until DHS can issue further guidance. Officials said the guidance does not explicitly prevent anyone from being arrested or deported. Instead, it directs resources at certain targets there. So a lot of, looks like, red tape involving trying to get illegals out of the country.
Tracking President Joe Biden's first 100 days in office, one of his first moves ending the Trump administration policy requiring asylum seekers to remain in Mexico while their cases work their way through the system. In California, some of the people who were waiting are now being let into the United States to await hearings. And the same thing could be happening here in Arizona in just a few weeks. Tonight, investigator Liliana Soto is taking an in-depth look at this issue from many different angles.
It's estimated that about 25,000 asylum seekers with active asylum cases have been waiting in Mexico, some more than a year.
Tanto tiempo, primera vez que me pasa esa experiencia de estar sola con mi hijo en un país que no conozco. O sea, es depresivo, es angustioso, o sea, especialmente nuestros hijos.
Josefa says her family became a target of violence for their political opposition to the government in Venezuela.
El gobierno sabe que estás allá, pues te puede meter preso. Y el estar preso eres objeto de ser torturado. Si no eres torturado, puedes ser asesinado.
She fled with her son, came to Nogales to claim asylum. She went through the process, had an interview with immigration officials. Her case was found to be credible, but because of the migrant protection protocols, also known as a Remain in Mexico policy, Josefa had to go back and wait in Nogales, Sonora for a hearing to make her claim, a place where she says she experienced extortion by criminal organizations.
Yo a veces estaba desesperada, como que quería irme para regresarme para mi país, pero si regreso a tu país es peor.
It's only the tip of the iceberg of the kinds of violence that people have experienced.
Kenji Kitsuka is a researcher for the nonprofit Human Rights First.
Over the past 2 years, our organization has been tracking public reports of attacks against people who've been returned to Mexico under MPP. And so far, we've tracked over 1,500 incidents of, ranging from rape and torture to even murder, as well as many extortions and assaults and kidnapping as well.
MPP was designed to make people give up.
Sarah Ritchie is with Kino Border Initiative in Nogales. She says out of desperation, many asylum seekers either left or died trying to cross illegally. She now worries about asylum seekers who are still waiting but have no case under MPP.
Those that simply came after the border closure. If this was a program that was inhumane and unlawful to begin with, and people were denied asylum as part of it, they too should have a chance to seek asylum again.
But not everybody agrees. Cristina John came to the U.S. from Colombia nearly 60 years ago.
I came here legally. I had to wait my turn. I had to fill my papers. I have to present everything that they needed. There are people that are doing it this way, and they have spent a lot of money, time, and effort to come here legally, and they have not been able to do it so because so many other people are doing it the wrong way.
She also worries about changes to the immigration policy in the middle of a pandemic.
What is so good about doing it? And what about the pandemia? Weren't they talking that, you couldn't do, the teachers cannot go to teach the kids because they can get sick? What about all of these people that are coming now sick? What is going to happen?
Someone who also has many questions is Arizona Governor Doug Ducey. In a 2-page letter to the Department of Homeland Security, he asked about federal resources to provide services to asylum seekers, how the federal government will ensure they show up to court, and if there's a plan to deal with asylum seekers with criminal records. Very valid question, says immigration lawyer Ezequiel Hernandez. He says there's already an answer to the question on criminal records.
The Department of Justice should already have their information because they already have a case, an MPP.
Hernandez believes it's time to offer solutions, not ask the same questions.
He could also publish a document essentially offering his help. I would want the governor to also say, hey, how can I make it available for the state of Arizona to have resources to help reunite these individuals that were caged and separated in this state.
And about those fears about asylum seekers coming into the country during a pandemic, the Department of Homeland Security says they're testing people for COVID and they must be negative before entering the U.S. In Phoenix, I'm Liliana Soto, ABC 15 Arizona.
Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, God bless. Peace.